What up, fam? It's your mains. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having fantastic days. We are kicking off on Friday, starting up in the just chatting. I wanted to start in Star Citizen, but I was like, am I gonna be in Star Citizen long? Because we got flagship Friday, so I didn't want to like do too much and then be wrong. Let go. Black Widow, what up? How you doing? 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 What up? All right, so I'm gonna give it a few minutes, let some people show up before we get too deep, because I want to pull up a couple different things that I feel like we should be talking about. What up, Darkman Doug? A couple things we got to talk about today. Out of principle, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Hey, Talkery's up. Bet. How's your Fridays going, man? How's your Fridays going? So how we doing today? What up? How's your day? What's good? How you feeling? What's happening? What's cracking? What's happening? Get cracking. Get it back in. Get it in, get it flip, get it move, get it back in. Hey, call them people way. Let everybody know we ain't out here to play. We gonna handle all this business and we do that shit today. So just call your people, let them know that we going bows. We throwing bows, moving it all, getting close, making sure that they gonna get it, cause they know that we do know, and we be moving and making sure that we gonna get it, yo. Ain't ready to handle the business, we flip it, bro. What are we? Ooh, that's what I was wanting to go do. Check out the Star Citizen, the Tech Talk with Benoit. That's a 2-hour video. 2 hours is a long time, man.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to
But you know we're going to have to watch
Live
that.
Tech Talk with Benoit Beauséjour.
You know we got to do it.
I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and if you've never
You know we
seen
gotta do it.
Star Citizen Live before...
I mean, luckily, with it being just chatting, we can still technically leave.
It's where we take usually about an
We
hour
can technically leave it
out
here?
of our week, and we chat with developers on these special...
Mostly because I don't want to
shows
have to
that we
change
do
all the
with our good
platforms we're
friend,
on right now.
Chief
We're on
Technology Officer and
a bunch of
all-around
platforms, and I
swell
don't want to have to
guy,
change the title on every one of them.
Benoit Beauséjour. We usually take a bit longer. Last time we took 3 hours. The first time, time before that, it was close to 3 hours. It was maybe 2.5 hours. This time we're clocking in at about 2 hours because we have meetings that we have to go to at about 2 hours. So,
What's up, Cauldron? How you doing? Yeah.
I'm running out of gas. What else do I do in the intro?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to introduce the person. So, I've mentioned this person in Benoit Beauséjour.
Hey, appreciate the likes. How you doing today?
Let's go ahead and meet Benoit Beauséjour. Benoit.
Hi.
Hi.
I watch too much Archer.
I'm impressed with your pronunciation.
It's like 12 years now.
No, but it keeps getting better. Every time it's better.
Well, I practice privately.
There you go. I know. Thank you, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Tell everybody who you are and what you do for Star Citizen.
So I'm Benoit Beauséjour.
Good down. I finally got my Polaris. Hey,
hell yeah!
Congrats.
I am the Chief Technology Officer
and
at
turn
CIG.
the overall volume down on the computer and then turn it up in here.
Describe it as if it has a
there we
computer chip in it.
Unruly gang, what up?
Kind of involved in a way.
Motopool, what's happening?
So I run the engineering teams, Star Engine Group, and I meddle with all areas of the game, trying to get us forward to our 1.0 release.
Meddle's a good word.
Yeah.
Metal.
My blood sugar is weird or something. I can't see with my glasses. I'm seeing better without my glasses, so we're going to take off my glasses. Although I'm going to have to do the show like this. Now I can't see everything else, but I can see this. This is important. All right, so
Appreciate the follow call
On
today.
these special tech talk shows and everything, we are going to cover a variety of topics. So these topics have all been discussed ahead of time. We worked out. Benoit, as involved as he is with so many aspects of the game, still needs to be afforded the opportunity to check in with other directors and get updates on what they're doing and everything, so that we can provide you the most up-to-date and accurate information. So this will be a show that's less about taking questions from the chat or from the community, and more about just a very candid conversation about the current state of the game, the development, where we've been, where we are, where we're going, that stuff like that. So I've divided the show up at this point into sort of three things. I'd switch teams for Benoit. Oh, that wasn't in chat. I was just talking to myself. No, that was in chat.
That absolutely sounds like something Disco would say, though.
That's not appropriate. So we're going to start the show with updates to existing endeavors. So this is the third one of these we've done. We've talked about a couple of things. So I'm going to update on a few of these topics that we've been covering through this before
money,
the second section.
too much or too little, can't fix or refuel ship. Yeah, I feel like that's a bug they know about.
The biggest one.
I feel like when it happens, you just got to give money away.
We're now a year old.
Which is nice that you have the wallet app to just give money away.
Leading up to this thing.
A lovely balance.
It's now been out a year. This is probably the last time we're going to talk about it for a while again, until Dynamic comes, and we're not going to put any dates on that. So let's put the story of server meshing. Let's put a button on the story of server meshing.
Sure.
And I'll break it down into 4 sections. How's it gone? How's this last year been?
Well, so like if I recap, like almost same date last year,
almost, yeah,
was when we actually launched 4.0, and server meshing actually went to the live environment. And so yeah, it's kind of the 1-year anniversary of the tech being available for all players. It's been surprisingly solid. I like to say that this way because it's a very large system, but it has given us just good foundation for what we had to do last year in terms of the content drive that we've pushed forward, the performance improvements that we wanted to deploy. It was like we were expecting a lot more.
And to make a whole spreadsheet so we know just how much we need. Damn, that's wild.
We've had in a year. It's been a very, very stable system overall. And so I would say, like, if I look back at the year, obviously there's always problems, with new technologies, but server meshing itself has been very, very, very solid for us.
Okay. So in the, quite frankly, years leading up to it, talking about it, it began to get this mythology that it was going to be this silver bullet, that it was going to be this one-stop fix that was going to fix so many issues. It didn't fix every issue in the world. It was never going to fix every issue. But I want to talk about what it has enabled for us in this last year.
Yeah.
So what are some of the benefits that we can draw a direct line from server meshing that we've experienced in the last year?
Well, like if you walk back to the Star Citizen experience before 4.0,
they would put Slives up to fight right now. Beat them Slives ass, man.
A server crashing, that was the end of your session, right? You would lose your ship, you would lose your cargo, everything would disappear. You'd have to reconnect, restart the client, start over, right? I mean, anybody who's lived through the first years of development of the project know how intense this was, right? And so the first thing that server meshing brought us
is
server recovery.
For fighting them Slives.
Because of the fact that the replication is separated from the simulation, when a game server crashes, which is where most of the crash risk exists, well, the state of the replication is still good. So we just tell you, hey, we're getting another server. You stay there. And when it comes back, we can recover exactly where you were. You don't lose your ship. You don't lose your cargo. You don't lose your materials. And I think that's been a very, very big, it's a kind of the unsung hero feature of server meshing. It helps with, engagement, playing longer sessions, finishing missions. And so for me, that's like one of the big pluses that was brought in with server meshing. On top of that, and we did have some crash isolation, to be clear, in 3.24.
I just woke up. Right? What up, man?
But what server meshing really brings also on top of that is crash isolation.
Welcome to the day.
So if a server is in charge of the Crusader area and he's the one running into issues, then only that area is affected. And so the player who's bounty hunting and pyro.
Actually, appreciate
like
the server
is
crashes in this
completely
game.
safe from this crash.
Really now?
And that just
How so?
perceived stability has increased a lot based on that. On top of all the work we've done to prevent servers from crashing in the first place, but just this whole setup
Django was like,
bro, gotta go.
Jeez.
in that sense.
It sucks, but it's smooth. Fair.
So that's just the kind of meat and potatoes of
The
what
idea that the
meshing has
server
brought
can
us,
crash
but
and then you
the-
just
the
like wait,
The key bit it brought us
just don't do
also is
anything.
much
And then just
larger player counts.
Good. I love it.
So we used to be limited to 100 players.
It's like it's a
per
great time to
server,
let me
which
go get some
had the
water, then,
whole
bro.
universe to simulate.
I choose violence this
Now
morning,
we've got a
obviously.
series of servers simulating the
Obviously.
universe, and so we oscillate between caps of 600, 700, 800. We're still experimenting, going higher with this, depending on multiple factors. That cap changes for the moment, but just the fact of having more players in the same shard means you can have an event where 200 people show up at one area. Surprisingly enough, we've also discovered things through this, that sometimes game servers actually perform better with more players in one area than one server simulating the whole universe would, because he has less entities streamed in, and now it's all about updating the components in that area. So we've seen certain events, because players always find a way to, organize something that should be a problem. But there was a 400-player party in one of the bars on New Babbage, and we looked at the server performance through that, and it was actually very, very decent. And so we expected a full meltdown, but it was actually good. And that enables that experience, right? Obviously, there's a million other problems to solve for this to be a really good experience, but from a server meshing point of view, that was a big win.
You've got a 500-player meetup coming. I just saw something.
I know. It's like that becomes a kind of common thing, and we love it because that's exactly
What up,
what the
Dietrich?
tech is
How you
meant
doing,
to
fam?
enable. And then obviously the two other things that meshing has brought us this year is 2 new solar systems.
Yep.
And so for years we had been stuck in Stanton, expanding the Stanton
What's for
system,
FSF
more
today?
POIs,
Star
more
Rupture.
planets, more things, and now suddenly we were able to branch into Pyro, which was everybody at CIG was really looking forward to that. It was internal tension.
Hey, we got the follow from
And
Nosfer Rock
when
2.
are we
That's a hell of
gonna
a
launch
name.
this
Well
thing?
played.
I've been working on this for a long time.
Someone
So
cooked
that was
here.
really
It was you. You
relief to
cooked.
be able to get
Nice work. Sting like a bee. What
players
up? How you doing?
across the jump gate. So the jump gate technology obviously comes with meshing, and so expanding into 2 systems in 1 year.
Being able to add Pyro in January. The tech preview was December the year before, but it went live in January, and then next goes live in November.
Yes.
Same year. It's this the most common question. We've been doing this for a long time now. Here, forget other places. We've been doing it.
Really
Just
excited
here
for stuff happening in the
for a
next 3
long
months.
time.
Big same.
And one of the most common.
They're pushing out a
persistent
lot
questions is about the pace
thus
of
far.
development.
I'm hoping we get
And
the crafting
people
before
have
summer.
been waiting very long for certain things, justifiably.
This person that was in
so.
chat yesterday.
and we've always maintained that its development kind of works on it builds.
Yeah.
It builds and it builds, and you get more efficient after you build the tools, after you build the
It was Disco.
foundations.
It was here.
It gets more efficient. You can do more later on. This year, because of server meshing, we were able to kick out 2-star systems, and we're still expanding on Nix. Every patch this year will expand Nix even more. It's the one in March is looking to expand a bunch of the service stations and our first big content drop, which I'll go ahead and say right now.
I think
is
Kraken by
supposed to be
summer. I
Rock
think it's going to
Cracker.
be the
If you
biggest
watched,
stinger.
watched,
IE to drive sales. I
what
mean,
was it called? Citizen Direct.
if not the Kraken, the Ironclad. But I feel like it's too soon for the Ironclad. I feel like the Ironclad came out before the Kraken. People would be hot. Like, big man. Big man. Like, wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. How dare. And we would have many people frustrated that the Ironclad came first. Or the Kraken came first. But it's like, further along or not, people still be mad. You know how people do when it comes to new ships. They're just like, oh, but my other ship is not done. It's like, I understand. Also, I do love the fact that they have done far less with concepts. We have mostly been getting like fully done, ready to fly ships, and I'm a big fan of that. A big fan of that.
Me and names. You can learn more about that,
Yep.
but we're currently working towards that as our March release, and then on and on, just continuing to build out next.
Potentially Kraken gets its own week, Power
I
Week.
think in the
If Kraken
road
doesn't
to
get its own week, I'll be blown
1.0
away.
presentation.
Also, I need to figure out if I want to try to melt a good amount of stuff. so that I can get a Kraken with store credit when they become available. It also becomes the problem of if I melt all my stuff and try to get a Kraken and then immediately disappears and then I have no ships and store credit. How am I going to get a Kraken if that happens? We'll see. We'll see. I have ideas. We'll figure it out.
It hasn't gone 2 years ago now, well, a year and a half ago. Rich Tyler acknowledged that Castor would be our next system whenever that comes online. So it's just this technology.
What does that mean? It's unlocked the capability.
Galaxy
to
Brown
do
on big ticket items for IE.
We can actually, start to deliver so
I'm
many
with the
of these
Galaxy
things that
doing
we've
that.
been
I have a
talking about
Galaxy,
working
so
on.
I'll be down for that.
Instancing has some role in that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, completely.
Like, I have the Galaxy in my primary package. Like, those of you who've been here for a while, you know I got a lot of ships, right? Because I like Star Citizen. We fuck with Star Citizen heavy. Saber Raven was the Intel Optane hard drive boost. We got that from that because we had the PC that was custom built, and then it had the Intel Optane, and it came with the Saber Raven. That was dope. AMD Never Settle Space Edition Mustang Omega. That shit. Pyro. Appreciate you, Pyro. You a boss. Good looking out. Thank you very much for the support with that. These are giveaways. Like, I think the Meteor is the thing we're giving away for this month, at the end of the month. I'm trying to go with the oldest ones first, right? Oh, no, we already said the Hermes. I already said that the Hermes is the one we're doing. So, we'll give away the Hermes at the end of the month, and then we'll give away the Meteor, and then the Kruger. We may have to do something in between about giving this away. We may do these on like a stream. The Kruger, I feel like we can do that in one stream. Just a long stream, like kick off the day, and then do it. Still love that wallpaper, big same, because Karen is a dope-ass climbing game. But TLDR, this is my primary package. The UEE Exploration 2948 pack that we have CCU'd so much stuff. It's got the Carrack, which, as far as I can tell, I don't foresee there's going to be a ship that's going to make me CCU my character, anything else. It was going to be the Perseus, but the Perseus didn't have a med bay, and I needed the med bay in it. So sadly, nah. You giving away space rocks now? I might give away a space meteor. I might give away a meteor. It's not even a might. I'm gonna give away a meteor. We'll figure it out. But we got a Dragonfly Black, we got a Cyclone, we got Star Citizen in here, we got Squadron 42 in here, which is also one of the reasons why I love this pack, because we haven't been able to get a pack with Squadron 42 in it for a hot minute now. Also, LTI on all of these, which is great. The Galaxy right there, and the Raft right there. Now that Raft is a temporary Raft, right? We're gonna CCU that Raft to the Hermes after we give away the Hermes that we're giving away. I'm purposely making sure that the Hermes that we use right now, that gets blown up, that gets scratched, I want to make sure that whoever wins this Hermes wins a gently used Hermes. I don't want you to get a Hermes and think like, meh, now we got the great god of something. No, you need to know that it went through its paces. We put it through its paces. We did work. It's going to be great. Any thoughts on when the Arastra is going to come out? I'm trying to remember if the Arastra is a minor or nah. Because if it's the big minor that I'm thinking of, it may be that. We can also do this like this year, do half new, half old ones. Interesting. But yeah, it's TLDR. We're gonna have this. It's gonna be dope. So this is a hell of a pack, I think. It's a large RSI mining refining ship. I feel like when they drop that, they'll probably be dropping that with. I feel like, for all intents and purposes, I feel like that depends on when they drop the new world building tools. Because I feel like when they drop that, I feel like they will have remade all of the planets. Because I can't remember the name of the tech they're using to redo everything, but I feel like that's part of the reason we don't have Nyx yet. Since they're dropping the world building tool, it makes sense that they'll drop it around the time that, hey, look, we just remade all the worlds. Because who's to say that the large asteroids are going to be built the same once they have that new world building tech? So I feel like I don't expect to see anything that touches on anything planetary, or that could be like on a planet or related to Earth. I'm not gonna expect that for anything before they release those tools, because those tools are gonna be how it happens. So yeah, there's that, which is nice. But yeah, this is my primary package, and then which is rocket gold standard the reclaimer. I feel like enough has changed with mining that they'll probably do that. Give us rock cracking mining like in elite. I wouldn't be against that because mining in Elite when you blow up the rocks is one of my favorite experiences in video games. It is. I don't even know how to put it in the words. It is one of the most viscerally, like the audio of it, like their sound designers are so fucking good because like you just, the bass, so good. Only see no, don't lock it to only the Ryan and the Rasher if we're talking about that. Nope. That's how you infuriate backers. Any ship capable of mining should be capable of putting on whatever tool you would need to crack rocks. Because realistically, when you cracked rocks in Elite, that was just using little explosives. You just drilled explosives into different parts. And then you went back and then you blew up the explosives. You're just shooting C4 at rocks, man. Why would that only have to be capable for the biggest of them? That'd be kind of rude. So people would be livid. Absolutely livid. Absolutely livid. Unless you have that same capability for slightly smaller rocks, slightly smaller mineable rocks, people have to get livid. They have to give us satchel charges and C4 bricks first. Maybe. They've done a lot of figuring out over interesting things when it comes to the tech of this game, so we'll see.
There's one more thing that server meshing brought us that's not negligible, is a very substantial gain of performance on the game server in general. So,
although I would love,
like
I'm torn because I don't know if I would want satchel charges until we have the ability to hack ships, because that should be like pirating type shit. Like, oh, it's a door to your ship. That's a lovely door you have here. Be a shame if something would happen to it, and then just stick a brick of C4 and then fall back. Oh, such a shame. Like, that would be great, I think. Release with Legionnaire. Oh, that would. The Legionnaire is the one ship that I have outside of the galaxy that I am just itching for them to release.
Stream clip successful.
I'm itching for them to release it. Give me that ship immediately, please and thank you, because good Lord, so good. Like, I need to be able to hack doors. That's the whole point. But what happens for cracking the small ones? Do it for ships with 2+ heads? Nah, just like in Elite. You fly around the rock. You fire your little C4 things. It doesn't matter. Just the size of the rock depends on the size of the rock dictates how many C4 charges you need to place. And then you just kind of back up. Boom. That doesn't require a different type of ship. Now, I could see it the way that the Star Citizen has implemented things. It would make sense that for smaller, medium rocks, smaller, medium ships can handle it, and the charges would not be big enough for the size of rock that the Orion and the Arastra can handle. That's where we got to differentiate between the games on how this would work. So it could work if that's how it was implemented, but we don't know how they're going to implement any of this, if any of this is going to be implemented. So it would give us a canon reason for better scanners and survey equipment. I mean, the merchantman's coming. It's just, it needs time. It needs time, man. It would involve both types of lasers and chargers. Yeah, you got to combine a bunch of stuff to make it work. But if we're talking about just the C4 charges, nah, bro. Like, small and medium rocks, hell, that's really just small and medium. Like, size of ship dictates the kind of rock you can explode. You might be able to pull off blowing up a medium rock with a small ship if you've engineered it. And you got engineered satchel charges or something, or engineered weapon that fires the satchel charges. That gives us a way to work in the engineering into, not engineering, the crafting into everything. You got better quality rock. You got better quality tools to make that better quality satchel charge, exploder, whatever, however it's going to exist in the verse. But that's how that works. That you could craft with a prospector or onto a prospect. Yeah. So like now we're talking about Star Citizen's game mechanics and implementing it in that way. So like it's options.
Or
could give the golem a reason to mine in space as well. Set up rocks for sectioning and mining.
You had a very low bar. For
that's the only way I've even mined in a golem yet. Actually, no, I have done playing. Let me not lie.
Nowadays, like server FPS
let me not lie fully.
Is magnitudes higher, so that it actually allowed some of the content we've already produced actually shine because it was working properly. And so that's because servers have less to simulate. We can optimize their workload. We've also reduced we've talked about this before, but we've reduced the size of the game servers because they just have to simulate one area. And so overall, we're trying to meshing has improved server performance by big magnitudes.
Yep.
Wow, crafting have new blueprints for ships
Chet,
to
no,
do
my
niche
head
jobs.
is not smaller. My hair is just bigger. It was very windy and rainy today, and it's just whatever. No, I haven't had a dye job. It's grayer than it's ever been. No, we are not taking questions from chat, but I will comment on every one of you commenting on my appearance. So that's static server meshing. We know the next big stage of server meshing is dynamic. What can you tell us, if anything,
Could
about
need
that?
to see some larger
Well, so
ships like the Idris to have some industrial
the
purpose too. Fair.
dynamic-
Don't cross the streams. Always
dynamism
cross the streams.
and the
Stone Age.
mesh,
Dynamism?
right? Dynamism.
Always cross the streams.
So we're running out of words internally to define what the next step of server meshing is. Currently, we're working on quasi-dynamic.
Are you the
server
gatekeeper?
Server meshing, which is we're
Trying to remember Rick
iterate on
Moranis'
the
line.
mesh, right?
I am
to
Dormammu,
bring
the
it,
gatekeeper, and it makes with
so that
Dormammu
if
in my
an
head for
area
some
is
reason. I don't know how Doctor
and
Strange got in
nobody's
there.
We can spin it
Dormammu,
out,
I've come to bargain.
and
Like,
when people go to that area, we can.
I am
spin
the
up a server.
keymaster. Are you the gatekeeper? There it
To
is.
achieve all this,
There it is.
all of the mechanics required for a full dynamic mesh need to be there. So like mass authority transfer between servers, because when a server goes out and it has X amount of entities that it currently has authority over,
To give all those
it needs
entities
to
to the
give
other
that
server.
to another one, and that obviously you don't want that process to lock up the parent server. So that whole mechanism is what we're working on at the moment. In fact, we've done over the break, the team has actually reached a milestone. We were able to run with our internal testers a test of quasi-dynamic server meshing internally. So that's good. I mean, it's the first test, so it's a bit rough, but it basically requested, I think, 200 servers to run the mesh. That was a little bit of a bug, but
200 servers.
yeah,
Sheesh.
our ops teams, Ahmed specifically, I got a call from Ahmed immediately. But anyway,
So wait. You've been calling it quasi dynamic, and I've been trying to workshop a new name for you, and I've just got just a little bit of dynamism. But so you did your first test of this quasi dynamic, like, hey server, you try to determine how much you need, and the first thing it did was ask for 200 more servers.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah,
a
a little bug in the assignment system, but
that sounds like human nature.
correct. So that's what we're working on right now. That's the next step towards the full dynamic mesh, right? Obviously, the goal with the dynamic mesh, just to recap it, is that instead of having
What informational tidbits did I miss? Not a lot, man.
Pre-make in advance, like currently, every patch we look at the territory assignment, is what we call it, of like what's coming. Like, oh, we have an event at this place, and most players are going to go to this system, and so we adjust the mesh, right? And
Hey, appreciate the
sometimes
likes.
we get it wrong.
Thank you much.
And it's a very manually intensive process, and we don't want to keep doing that. So the goal with the dynamic mesh is to be able to just adapt to where the players are, the cost of the location they're in, to be able to provision compute dynamically up and down. So there's also the unfortunate cost equation in this, right? The current static mesh will always provision a server for every territory that's configured. And so there's a little bit of savings we can go and get there. But more importantly, the dynamic aspect of it is to be able to always make sure that the proper compute is available for players when they're in an area doing something, right? So that's the goal.
Chat's debating whether the servers have actually achieved AGI.
1.0
and
tomorrow.
Played the game.
Lies. Lies.
Like, we've played the game. Give me 200. So that's server meshing.
Yeah.
Last year, last year was coined as the year of playability.
Mm-hmm.
So we've just backdoored a whole bunch of playability improvements that server meshing, which dropped last year, enabled. So we've had all of those improvements last year that made the game far more playable than it was in any previous year. But that phrase has been used, it's weaponized, it's thrown back every once in a while, every time somebody encounters any kind of bug whatsoever. So I want to talk, and that's not entirely unfairly, because everybody's bug that they're encountering is the most important bug in the universe at that given moment, and that one is not resolved because they're encountering it. I want to talk a little bit more about what we did gain last year. So it's whether that's the transit system stuff, the 30Ks finally being killed, the creatures and boss fights and stuff. When you tell me, how did our year of playability go in your head?
Well, so I think that, obviously coming from the server meshing improvements, there was also some failings at the beginning of the year where we saw, transit became a very big problem.
I forgot about the transit.
That's an example of a
only
system.
because we tried to use it.
Yeah, well, yeah, or tried to serve you, but badly. But that's an example of a system that was built years ago that wasn't properly scaled over time. And so when you added dynamic gateways for the transit system plus the meshing situation, that became a really problematic system. And so that was, I think, the first order of business once we launched 4.0.
We tossed the
was
cryopods
we
into the
need
basketball
to really
hoop on the
take
first of the
action on
Polaris.
transit. And so
That's a bold move.
we talked about this last year, but we did
I know you're
create the
frozen,
Transit
but
Heroes group,
buckets, baby.
which was
The
a
savagery of it.
coalition of volunteers. Well, they got volunteered. Voluntold, yes, exactly. To come and give a bit of oversight on this, to look at the system to see, okay, what do we need to actually, have stable elevators and trains and, make sure that that's always available. Because the traversal of the game, if that doesn't work, then the game doesn't work at all, right? If you can't take an elevator to get out of the habs, then
You've got 20.
good luck, right? So
When are going to pay back their Kickstarter supporters? How long until they officially launch? I feel like if you wanted a refund, there's been ways to request a refund for quite some time. So if you are not happy with the state of the development process, there's places you can go for that. But the official launch of Squadron 42 is currently set for this year, and Star Citizen will be finished to 1.0 when it's finished. But I feel like we're probably far closer to the launch of that than people give them credit for. So once they release the new planetary tech, I feel like we're going to be even closer, but we'll see. Sorry if you backed it in Kickstarter and you were frustrated with the progress. I understand completely because it's been a long time. But having been a part of this journey since 2015, I backed this game because I wanted them to take the time they needed to make the game that we want. I understand if it's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. We'll see. Kickstarter's supposed to get a premium with that investment? Like what? Like what premium? I feel like anybody who has a Kickstarter tier account has probably like LTI, which in and of itself is a premium. 20%? 20% of what? Like, I don't think they offered any money. They didn't offer you money for the game. Like, if you buy our game, we pay you. Like that. I don't. 20% of what? Like I want to see what that 20% entails. But in the meantime,
self-healing strategies, right? If a manager loses a carriage for some reason, for any reason, well, just create another one and get this thing rolling, right? Now they couldn't fix in this effort. They couldn't rebuild the system. There was fundamental flaws in how it was engineered for server meshing support, and so. But at least they got it into working condition. So I do think, like, if you look at the game now, transit is no longer the big problem it used to be, right? Like it actually functions when you need it. Now that said,
most times
it fixes itself, right? So it's still getting in a weird state, but it fixes itself. So we've done more about this, and we'll talk about it later.
And we're building the transport system,
correct,
concurrently.
Yeah, absolutely.
So while this team is repairing the transit system, we're building a new.
No, you don't get interest on your investments through Kickstarter. Kickstarter's a way for companies to give you things for the process. I have a Kickstarter account. I've backed many games. None of them involve giving you percentages of monies for anything that I've seen. They tell you what you get when you get a Kickstarter thing. They'll tell you what it is when you pick a certain tier, that's the tier you support, and that's what you get. They'll tell you, hey, look, but with this tier, you get all the stuff in the previous tiers and then these bonus things. So I don't think you have the understanding of Kickstarter. You might be thinking of a different website that's similar to Kickstarter, but I've not seen a Kickstarter that pays anybody. That's not how that works. It's not an investment platform. Kickstarter helps developers make things. I know there are investment platforms like that to where you can invest in someone and get percentages of things based on that, but you are misinformed in that, I think.
new bespoke
Yes.
transport system.
Right. So transport is basically the fix for this, like the real fix.
Let's get to transport when we talk about what's fun.
Yeah.
So what else did we get last year?
Well, I got a list here that I worked out a little bit with Jens just to gather up because the game is so big. So
I'm gonna limit you a little bit on this time. You've got
okay,
I'm gonna give you 5 minutes.
sounds good.
I'm gonna give you 5 minutes.
I'm being time boxed.
because we do want to get to the new exciting hotness. And
I'll go
this is important.
I like the.
Okay, so
can't remember the name of that ship.
Hold on, looking for my clock app.
Okay,
I like the fact that they have it there.
go for it.
'Cause I used to have one of those
Go.
in
You
rec
should be a
things with it.
producer. Okay, 30K protection, transit improvements, right, to make it stable. A stable tech base for the content teams. What doesn't show is that to achieve the content we shipped in 25, we actually froze a lot of the technology to give the content teams a stable base to work off. Before, it was a bit more of a mayhem. So we did that. As we built all of this content last year, so a monthly patch was a very heavy cadence.
10 patches last year.
Yeah. I think that what's really cool is that we've built kind of a library of locations and events that if you start playing Star Citizen today, there's that to do, right? It's like that. We never had that before, like a real set of locations that have like a full-on, storyline to follow. So that's really cool. In these locations, we're able to ship some new creatures. So a lot of new creatures and boss fights. So we had the first couple boss fights this year, with Yormandi, Stormbreaker. So that's like a brand new
Corsair,
design
thank you.
discipline for us. To
I
design
absolutely
boss
forgot the name of that
fights
ship. I was like,
for
I know what it is.
multiplayer,
Can't remember the name of it
elements.
though.
So that's new. Spawn and Hangar is something that we've actually been able to enable this time. So we tried to enable that in end of 24, and that was a bit of a disaster. 25 now, Spawn and Hangar.
I want to hug a
there.
space
So if your
counter.
hangar is available, you spawn directly there. That's actually a very large quality of life improvement. I play the game a lot. It's not having to go to the habs is fantastic. We've been able to put weather in key locations, including some of those big hero locations we talked about. We're hoping to do more, but for now it actually is there. 2 new star systems, we talk about this. Jump gates, which is a whole, a game on its own. The way it functions is actually super interesting. As you're going through, the zone is moving and you're moving within the zone. It's really a fun system to go through. So that's in. We fixed the goddamn bounty beacons, which is one of the coolest loop in the game. I love
What up,
it.
Luis?
And that was obviously not working. So now we've actually got them to work again, which is a big win. Quantum interdiction was in the same bag, where now with a server mesh,
and the likes,
having proper
appreciate.
interdiction was kind of
There's a boss fight at the
difficult, so
abandoned facility. I
restoring
forgot the
it was
name.
An interesting one.
I don't know.
We had to actually
I don't know.
build systems.
I know the
allow that
ASDs have
because not
the
every
big perm, big
server has a
worms.
view of the entire shard anymore, and so in order to interdict cross-server, you needed to have a special tech to do that. That fixed also quantum linking. Now, routing is still, there's still issues, right? It's getting there, but at least there's been some quality of life improvements on that side that we've done this year. Freight elevator, ongoing.
We'll have a whole section on freight elevator.
With the worm
But
the other
there's been
side.
a lot of,
You get that one? I don't remember that one.
throughout the year, Freight
I remember the
elevators
ASD
have
worm.
received tons of
compared to where they started when we attempted to push them when we pushed them to the forefront for an event, and compared to where we started. But
we talked about server FPS and stability from the meshing and the cleanup that we've put in place. Also, we've pushed at the middle of the year. It came for you guys at the end of the year, but actually we merged it at the middle of the year. But a whole new tech base, including at least a year of graphics update, including Vulkan, coming into the game
Vulkan's
now.
dope.
That was what will allow us this year to do some pretty large changes as well. The first weaponized mech, so the Atlas ICT came in, so that's also a really big boost. We still don't know if it's a vehicle. John Crew and I have this ongoing feud. He says it's not. I say it is.
You're dipping into content here. I'm not going to let you count I'm not going to let you count the ICT. That's content.
Ah, that's fine.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Well, although
exists.
the jump jets were a feature, I suppose.
There you go.
The jump jets were a feature.
Go.
What?
I'll give you half credit for
What?
the ICT.
Correct.
Gimme.
Thank
When the fuck did they start talking about jump jets? Like, we got Mando like armor and we can have jump jets? Give me that shit.
content here. I'm not going to let you count the. I'm not going to let you count the ICTY. That's content.
Ah, that's fine.
ICTY?
Yeah. Well,
Although
exists.
Unless he's talking about the jump jets on the Atlas.
The jump jets were
There
a
you go.
feature. So
isn't there an Atlas that has jump jets?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will take that. Comms notification got a big facelift. That's something that we want to use a lot more of. And so we needed the proper tech to be able to render that properly and not just the quip lines, which, you need more immersion than that. So that was actually a pretty big thing with facial animations and tracking. And so that's in there.
Hey, you got the follow from
progress for events.
Ving
so
T Symptoms. I don't know how to say that.
What powered a lot of the content this year was a new service in the background of the game called the scenario service, which whether you're doing clean air or the resource drive last year, the cross shard progress of these events is tracked by the scenario system, and so that's how we were able to show tables about how many resource drives and resource drives, stuff like that. Exactly.
That's a pretty good list. You just got it says 502.
Yes.
Look at that.
On time.
And you didn't even mention like item recovery.
No, I did not.
Didn't mention item recovery. And there was one other that I had until I got distracted by my own
Hello
talk.
of the Paris
got distracted
in
by my own
French.
talk. Basically, it's hard. Let me think about how I want to say this. If you've been watching this show long enough, you know that I'm not above taking a section, in this case 5 minutes of the section, to basically go through some talking points that I want, that I think are important, that I think people want to hear. We have had things like the year of playability thrown back at us in comms, and when you see, I tune into a Twitch stream or YouTube stream, and and somebody gets a very frustrating experience. I was looking at an experience of somebody, just going to town with their hull C, and they went through a jump point, and it took them trying to go to one system, it kicked them back out to the next system, and the thing crashed. Then they got back in, and the spindles. They tried to open the spindles, but the spindles were closed.
What that means.
Looked closed, but they were actually open, so they were in the wrong state. Tried to get refueled, tried to go to refuel. The refuel thing wasn't working, and then stowed the ship and spawned the ship, and it didn't come back on the docking port. It came back in their hangar full of cargo, and it's like this. It's like, we acknowledge that. I'm sitting here saying we acknowledge those things. But there was so many massive improvements last year. You used an analogy last time we did with this about I think it was the big freight container, the big giant Suez Canal shipping things, that you don't just turn the direction.
Hey, happy Friday,
around.
Rabbi.
You don't just spin the wheel and suddenly you're facing a new direction. It takes time to move these things, and the efforts of your teams and the people under you, these strike teams, these hero teams as you call them, to turn this ship that we call the persistent universe around in the last year, has been phenomenal. If I'm allowed to have a personal opinion, being the shill for the company that I am, has been phenomenal. We haven't gotten everything. We still got another year. We still got another year. The work continues.
Yeah.
But it's my show, and I wanted to take 5 minutes to acknowledge the tremendous work of those teams, and a whole lot was accomplished
acknowledge the
last
tremendous
year,
support of those
in addition
teams.
to the amazing content work. I said 10 patches, and I realized we actually had 11 because we kicked engineering out.
Yeah.
We kicked engineering out in December, so it was actually 11 patches. 11 patches in 12 months is pretty crazy. So you allow me to have a moment, to have some time to sit there and sing the praises of those people, because I've seen where we were, and I know where we are, and we're in a much better place now. Still
it's just
back to
beginning.
What's up, Agent? How you
still
doing?
places to go.
Yes.
That scenario I just described was like last week, and we got still places.
Oh,
to
that's
go.
that's your name, man. I'm
That
silly.
doesn't mean
Took me a second. I was just like,
I think it's a
I was like,
testament
what are you trying to
kind
do?
of the
That's your name.
systematic
Okay, that makes
approach
sense.
we've
Thank you very
taken
much.
to solve some of these issues.
I appreciate
instead
the
of,
phonetic
previously we
explanation
used
of
to
your
just
name.
assign tickets to people, and they would find the fast.
If I may lay it flat, like, I've been in a lot of situations where it seems like somebody will come in the stream and say this, and it's like, and I'm wondering, like, is that something that they're trying to get me to say? to like make my voice into an AI voice because I don't want that. Like, so it took me a second. So reading it again and seeing it the second way you typed it and seeing Vincent right underneath your name was like, okay, that makes perfect sense. I'm silly. My bad. What are the platforms? Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. Do I have room 40? What is room 40? You talking about 40's nuts? See, I beat you. I said it before you even typed it in chat. That's how quickly I knew what the you were doing. See? Beat you to your own D's nuts joke. What you gonna do about it? Bruh. Beat you to your own shit.
This way to solve it, and now we're kind of work as a team with the teams in quality assurance that are basically the arbiter.
Allergic to nuts.
No, it's not fixed. I can still repro, right? And these guys have been going through a systematic approach for it. I think that's.
I saw
that's
it coming. I was like, which way is this gonna go? I knew it was somewhere.
But
I felt it. I was like,
and in this case, we've definitely gotten better. There were some big changes to internal infrastructure and stuff in the last year or two, and we're seeing the results of that stuff.
Appreciate the likes, baby.
All right. So now let's go into some specific updates here. So let's talk about the transport system. We don't need to talk about transit so much anymore. The transport system is what will one day replace this thing. I've heard talk about there being a tech preview of it soon. Talk to me about the transport system.
Well, so transit was problematic, wasn't designed for server meshing. And so transport is a complete rebuild of the transit system, but using more server native.
Oh no, neither of them is the CEO. This is Benoit Boussageau. I feel like I probably ruined that, but I tried. He is like the technical lead of Star Citizen. So like he's the one person at the company who knows how everything works. The technical explanation of everything. That guy knows. And across from him is Jared Huckabee, the community manager that's been known as Disco Lando. He's been a part of the project for years. They've both been on the project for like 12 years, something like that. I think that's what Disco said earlier. That's the two gentlemen there are having conversations about the tech status of Star Citizen. And they're basically kind of going over the things that have been happening in the game over the past few years and then what's coming up soon, hopefully. I know they just got done talking about the year of playability, which was last year. One of the things that I didn't know that that Benoit just kind of let us know about 10 minutes ago was last year when we got so much content for Star Citizen, they paused a lot of the tech to make sure to get more content, which I think was a really good idea because a lot more people got into Star Citizen last year than I saw in a long time before that. So they got a lot more people into the verse by giving us more story content. And it sucks that we kind of got our game mechanics paused for that, but I mean, they still sprinkled them in. It just would have been nice to get more. I think the Vulcan Crucible Legionnaire are some of the unlisted ships in the pipeline. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm hoping that the Legionnaire is one of those unlisted ships in the pipeline because I need the Legionnaire to be done because it's one of the few ships that's not out yet that I fucking need. We are my org, the Night Corps, we've been building this in this community for a decade now. It's like almost 200 people, 190 something people. We are a bounty hunting and security providing organization. You can't bounty hunt if you can't open people's doors on their ships. We got to go in there, take them out, put them into the bounty bays. Right. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. What are you doing? We're having a conversation about the tech status. Like this was tech talk with Benoit. I feel like it's Boussageau, but I feel like I've probably ruined it. I'm trying. I don't speak French natively, so like it's trying to read a French name is I did the best I could. If I ruined it, let me know. If I butchered it, say, hey DJ, just don't do that again. I would understand. On bounty hunting, cryopods are coming. I mean, we got the hint at the cryopods in this new event that cryopods are there. So like they're gonna sneak us a lot of stuff here. I feel like this year. I feel like once we get the new planetary tech online, I feel like we're gonna get a bunch more stuff. Cryopods already in Cuddy Blue. Really now? What's my thought on the? I don't even know what that is. Routing. I don't even know.
Native approaches for how different pieces are going to manage elements that are streamed out and streamed in. We're also moving away from some previous misconceptions.
Right. I'm going to go top my coffee off real quick. I'll be right back. I'm going to rewind.
One of them misconceptions are native.
That much.
replace this.
And then I should be back by the time this is over. Cryopod slots also on the Hawk. I know the pods are there, like the slots, but like
about the transport system.
I paused. I melted my Hawk, or CCU'd my Hawk to the Legionnaire. I think it was. No, the Legionnaire might have been solo. It's another bounty ship. It might. Oh, it might be the Zeus MR. But one of my favorite ships in the game is the Aegis Avenger Stalker. So like, I'm here for the bounty hunting stuff. All right, gonna unpause this, put the last of my coffee in my mug, come back, and then we got like 20-ish minutes before we raid for Flagship Friday. Oh, the S&P 500 and how stocks are crashing. Expected at this point. I'm hoping that the AI bubble is crashing so that people can stop pushing all of their shit into AI, and we can finally stop hoping that it's going to be the savior of all things, because we're not hoping it's going to be the savior of all things. All these CEOs and companies are just trying to offload ways to pay people less. Tired of it. BRB.
Also, transit was problematic, wasn't designed for server meshing. And so transport is a complete rebuild of the transit system, but using more server meshing native approaches for how different pieces are going to manage elements that are streamed out and streamed in. We're also moving away from some previous misconceptions that were put into the transit system. For example, one of them was responsible for trains going into space. We don't want trains to go into space. So
you might not.
Yeah, well, I mean, unless we do a space elevator.
Astro Train.
Yeah, Astro Train would be great. So the state of transport, right? So at the end of last year.
So I'm going to pause. What's included in transport? So what? What are we talking about?
So elevators? Transit and transport manage elevators, in-ship elevators, trains, anything that has to move when you press a button and you call it. So it's a network of carriage.
With the space trains, I get kidnapped by them at Babbage all the time.
You take an elevator to go to your hangar. That's transit.
You take a tram.
That's
anything that's automated, anything that moves you not under your control.
Right. And he's the one moving the carriages, right? So he needs to deal with carriages being streamed out, like prediction for that stuff. So so transport is a rebuild of the original transit, which has been, as we talked about, problematic. So the state on transport is, at this point, we are, it's functional. So we've, the team at the end of last year actually completed the first transport link, which was we tested this internally with our QA teams extensively at this point. All of the new Babbage HABs links. So we took one link in the universe, that one, and we tested the crap out of it. Right now, that's a static link. So it's going this. When I say static, it means the 2 points that the elevator goes to exist. Okay. They always exist. So we know that works. Then the state at the moment is we also support hangars. So these are dynamic gateways, because if you're online and you're at the location, your hangar is spawned there. That's a dynamic gateway. If you leave, that gateway disappears. So the system needs to deal with dynamic gateways. The previous system.
I think they want to work on player trade stalls and base building first. I feel like since they have the wallet, you can give people money. It would be nice to have a trade stall to where you could just go to a stall and buy something from somebody quickly. Considering we know that that's going to be a thing that's going to happen, I feel like it would make sense for them to go with base building first. Because once you have the base building and the ability to build a thing that people can come and buy from you, that's when you can start implementing that mechanic. So I feel like it's going to happen. It just needs time. And I'm thinking about the order of operations, because yeah, you could buy a thing that exists now to help people buy from you, but like, how would you vend it, right? Like, that is going to require trying to figure out, if you buy a thing, how do you get it from the vending machine to the player, or like a couple other things. It needs time, huh? I've been here 13 years waiting. I've been waiting for a decade. You're preaching to the choir here. The next stalls first, and I hope that means the merchantman will get back in the pipeline. I feel like you've mentioned the merchantman already, and I agree. I hope the merchantman comes out soon, mostly because I know a lot of people who are excited because they have it and they want it done. There's different teams working on different things, so I would like if they would release both at the same time, but I don't know how the teams are split up. I do know that there's like ships teams that focus specifically on ships, so it's fine. You don't need to apologize, Robert. That's why I pointed it out. Like, I understand. I have a couple ships that I'm excited about myself. So I feel you. What's up, Traps? How you doing? All right.
Candidate was the piece that wasn't great.
Okay.
And so we've got internally at the moment new Babbage, we've got hangars and HAB. So the state of transport now is the team is working at converting all of Area 18. So we're talking HABs, hangars, transit trains, all of Area 18 to the transport system. So we're going to go to tech preview with that. That's our plan. And the reason why we need to go to tech preview is because we need players. We've tested this internally. We can't muster as much players as we want.
Oh, don't get it twisted.
So
I didn't think you were trying to be cocky. It's just more just that, like, that sounded to me like a statement of fact. Like, I've been here 13 years waiting. What the fuck? Where's my other pieces? You're good. I understand. Like, you were preaching to the choir. I've been here for a decade, excited about the game. It's just more that because I don't know the order in which they're working on specific things, I don't know how they've structured their silos to do individual things. I know there's the world teams, but I don't know how they break up the world teams, right? Like, is the world team the people who are working on the new world tech, and then the people that are working on the planets underneath that? I imagine so, but I don't know the intricacies of that inside of that. But like world team, ships team, squadron team, at least, and there's got to be a couple other silos that are in there as well. So just on the surface level, I want to talk about something, but I don't want to talk about it with not enough knowledge, right? Does that make sense? I don't want to speak on something and be like, this is a fact, because I don't know. I understand how the cake is made when it comes to making games because I've taught people how to make games. That was my job for 4 years. If you've ever heard of Full Sail University, I taught people how to make games in the game design degree for 4 years. So because I know that process, I can fairly have a decent understanding of how they could go about it. But none of what I suggest is guaranteed to be what it is. But I try to preface most of what I have to say on that. So that gives me an idea of things that they would likely be doing. And that's where I base a lot of my expectations off of. Like, for example, before they announced that Squadron 42 was feature complete, I've been telling people for years, watch what happens when Squadron 42 is done, the verse is going to explode. They said it in, I think, 2023. Squadron 42 is in feature complete. Now we're just polishing. The very next year, starting in January, they dumped content in the Star Citizen. And they did it again last year. So since Squadron's been done, we've gotten a ridiculous amount more gameplay features, quality of life updates, server updates since Squadron has been feature complete and they've been polishing. So I feel like my guesstimates, my educated guesses, make sense. So that's all I'm saying. It's like, since we know that they have different silos, we just don't know what they're doing in the silos. I can't specifically state it because I don't know the perfect structure of their company. When Squadron's done, they're going to need the PU to be stable. Agreed. But also, I feel like they might be able to ride the high of Squadron for a year. The goal was, in my mind, they were going to release Squadron when Star Citizen was 1.0. I feel like we're not close enough to Star Citizen being 1.0 for them to release. If that was the original goal, they couldn't do that this year. So I'm still expecting Squadron to release, but like, I feel like they're probably going to go heavy on features at the beginning of this year to make sure that the verse is as stable as humanly possible by the time Squadron releases. Because if Squadron's releasing, let's say November, I feel like that's probably the worst time to release because GTA 6 is scheduled to release in November, and no company should put anything near the release of GTA 6. I know Call of Duty is going to do it, and it's going to be a bad idea. But realistically, I'm expecting them to put a lot of functionality into Star Citizen this year. I'm hoping that they can put the social updates into Star Citizen this year because that'll make it easier for people to make the switch from Squadron to Star Citizen. But also, in its current state, I feel like people could work with what's there. GTA is scheduled to release in never. Let it ride. Let them cook. If they delay it again, I don't care because I'm a Star Citizen backer. Let Rockstar cook. That's my opinion on it. I'll say it from the rooftops. I will shout that from the rooftops. That is a hill. That is my Roman, whatever the fuck. That is a hill I will die on. Let these companies cook. When they want to make a game, if they want to get it right, and they're their own publisher, let them fucking cook. Because when they cook, you'll get it. You'll have just a quick like.
Someone cooked here.
That's exactly what's going to happen. So let them. Play on PC, so I'm not going to get GTA 6 for the next 5 years anyways. I mean, I play on PC, but I also have a Switch too. a Series X, and a PS5. So we're good. When they cook the players win, we are gonna win. They just let them fucking cook. Let them cook. Man, I know people are mad. They're like, I want to play it right now. I do too. Let them cook. Let them cook. But they'll get a lot more stuff in Star Citizen 2 going forward. Oh no, that's also one of the things that we regularly be saying, Optics. Things that we get in Star Citizen that don't seem to make sense are likely because they are feature complete in Squadron, and we can get them in the verse, and then they can start playing around and converging something from Squadron into Star Citizen to make the change easier. But I feel like they only will be doing that with things that won't be spoilers for Squadron. Hey, appreciate you, Snowman. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. Have a great one. But yeah, we get things in the verse when they're done in Squadron. That's I don't think there's like, I feel like we're gonna have a handful of ships that don't touch Squadron in some way, but like I feel like everything that we're getting is gonna touch Squadron at some point. Appreciate the warning. Kind of want to see Rockstar get a game, either Civil War or World War I in the GTA universe. I don't know if I want to go in the past in the GTA universe. I think you're absolutely right about Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. I mean, I've been making educated guesses like this because it makes sense to do so. Why would you like there? It makes sense for them to make exclusive ships to Star Citizen at some point because it's an MMO. But if they're already making the shit for Squadron, it's a perfect time. It's a perfect time. It's a perfect time to do it. All right.
And I try to see if you guys
Red Dead 2 was right before World War I. Yeah, but it's like that's close enough, right? Like I don't want to go too much further back than that. I don't really want to go. Now, if the only way I would see being cool with a game like that is one thing that I haven't really seen a lot of. I want to say like they did the 80s with Vice City. I would like to see the 70s maybe. Give me something from Rockstar in the 70s would be dope because then you got the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s and modern. That gets us, that covers all of the ages of the people who would be playing games still. Like you get to play games from like your parents or your grandparents type shit. Like that'd be dope. I want a second LA Noire. LA Noire was fantastic. I absolutely would love another one. Easy to plug content for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. Absolutely. Because it's the same game. Like that's the reason that they're working on both of these games at the same time is because they want them to feel the same. They want you the skills that you build in Squadron to apply to Star Citizen. That's why we have a lot of stuff that hasn't just done numbers immediately, right? Like, well, I want to be able to no, that they want you to be able to fly in Squadron 42, immediately come over to the verse, and then you said you were a boss in Squadron.
You a boss in the verse now.
Like it's a balance. They got to make sure to do it right. And when you do it right, there's going to be no complaints. People are going to be excited. And I feel like because we also have the fact that Squadron is a single player game and it's going to run nicely, they want to get the servers with the meshing to be as smooth as possible. Because most of the frame rate issues we talk about in Star Citizen are because of the servers. If you go in the Arena Commander and then you kick it off and you do nothing, you're good. The smoothest frame rate you'll ever see in the verse. You turn it offline, do some Arena Commander, smoothest gameplay ever. You get into servers. The servers are causing the lag. Wonder if they'll ever add weapons, tractor beams for bounty hunting. I don't know. I agree much of the issue with the server side. Oh no, I feel like there's less to even agree on. That's just how that works. As somebody who's been playing since 2015, in 2015, we could only have like 20 people on the server and there was no planets to land on. Imagine the fact that right now 600 and something people are in a server that you can go from Pyro, the far end of Pyro, fly to multiple planets, past multiple planets. If you want to land on one of those planets in the meantime, you can get down to that planet, get off that planet, go to the jump point, jump through a jump point into Stanton, go to Microtech, land, pick up a snack, get back into the air after you fuel up, head into Nix, and then go land at Levski. You can do all of that with no load screens? And there are 600 something people doing that at once? It's fucking magic, bro.
It's transit.
It's magic.
Real on a tech preview to validate all the assumptions that are.
I love that in an hour we've gone through 33 minutes of this.
And ask people
talked
to
too
just
much.
come and ride the elevators.
Correct.
We
Come
talk
and
too
ride
much.
the trams
And their hangars.
and the hangars,
Yes.
and hope nobody dies.
No trains in space. No doors opening to nothingness. That'd be great. No passing through the floors in the carriages.
The single most exciting tech preview we'll ever do, but incredibly important because it's a tech preview that doesn't just affect Area 18. It's one that can literally affect quality of life in every single landing zone on board every single
computer tech
spaceship.
backed,
That has an elevator.
That
working in
have
IT and managing servers.
Space stations.
A lot of people don't understand the server side of things.
18, but
aside from teaching people how to make video games and understanding a little bit about servers that way, my primary gig before that was web design, and I taught that at Full Sail. If you remember Flash, I taught Flash and ActionScript specifically, which is why I was an interface designer on Madden. I'm still mad that I was not in the credits that year, but I still have that copy of Madden. It exists in this place right now because I fucking worked on it. I don't care what anybody says. I think I still have my name tag from when I was there somewhere. I need to find it.
Pulls out to everyone.
All right, so 5 minutes and we're gonna raid.
Everything is validated. There's one thing too we want to try to avoid is the train prediction.
I believe Hunter,
taking, like you in 32 seconds to come in, where the train says train arrives in 1,060,000. You know, which obviously we hope that.
I just thought it was a metaphor for the project.
Speaking my lingo, oh, you know what I'm talking about.
At this point, you are. So after tech preview, we're gonna scale this out to every landing zone, and we're gonna see which patch this will load in. But at that point, we hope to bring transport in and completely deprecate the transit system from the game and nuke it from orbit. Cool. Yeah.
And that's next week.
We don't give dates. Best effort, but it's looking good. Like this tech preview.
Are we hunting Hunter? No, we're going to play some Starbucks.
Really like where we're at with scale, because the issues of transit typically come up with scale most of the time. Right?
Fair enough. I told you we get back to freight elevators.
Yeah.
So what can you tell me about freight elevators and what still needs to happen?
Sure. So the freight elevators are way more complicated than we can imagine because they get affected by other systems like hangars, like planetary locations.
Is this new? This came out yesterday,
there's
I think.
Also multiple flavors of them, top loading, side loading.
Yep,
and they all
23 hours
very
ago.
Differently. So this year, we've had issues at the beginning of the year, clearly, with the freight elevators, like losing items, obstruction, blocking them from functioning.
You said the beginning of the year, but that really came to a head in July.
Yeah. Where we had even an event that would rely on them, which was, in retrospect.
Yeah.
Damn it. What happened? What's wrong?
We knew there was a collection of issues, but we also, all of our data said they were only
localized.
The localized list. It wasn't until we went to scale.
That's right.
That we realized, oh, this is actually even worse than we thought.
Right. It's also coupled to a couple of things, and for that event specifically, which was,
now I got to watch a whole ass video. Oh, don't get it twisted. You don't have to watch this, David. This is 2 hours long. This is a movie-length conversation.
That's one thing that has been in our discussions all year was how we distribute missions, right? How we, if we launch a new mission tomorrow,
I know.
Send everybody to the same spot. That is problematic, not just because it's not fun, because it's a traffic jam, but also it causes other issues. And so that we learned a lot from that.
But if I don't watch, I won't know. Fair.
I think, overall.
Very fair.
So freight elevators, though, so we're pretty happy with some of the core mechanics, but there's still very egregious issues that we're tracking. So there's roughly 73 total issues that we know about. 51 of those have been resolved. So I've asked one of our teams in our Nathaniel Fisher, resident expert in freight elevators, to track that. So the rest of these issues some of them are really problematic. One of them we actually discussed, you and I, just before the show, was how if you're turning in Wicklow items, you need to put them one by one.
Things in a box. You have to be able to put things in a box.
Correct. And so
you have to be able to put things in a box and have it suck up that box.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
Phrasing.
And so that's going to be one of the first ones I think we need to look at. The other one is
I haven't heard them talk about the Ironclad yet.
Problematic because we don't have a proper repro for, but sometimes there are lost items that fail if there's like a back-end slowdown when things get stowed. So we have a couple reports for this, not many, but the ones that we have are critical. And so, this is a kind of a rule we've set on the CGP team. So Jens and I are pushing this to everybody. It's like, the golden rule for everything related to freight elevators or anything that touches inventory is a player should never lose an item interacting with these systems, right? We need trust in them 100%. And so that's why we're tracing on those issues. So there's still a lot more work required on freight elevators for different edge cases. A new one that we started seeing in 4.6, which seems affected by another change, but is sometimes like putting stuff on the elevator, not on the grid, will cause it to disappear,
right?
Which is kind of a physics cleanup conflict. So I know we're looking into this right now because that's a big one. But and then everything that has to do with stacking. So having a stack in your inventory that you want to unstow onto the freight elevator, that mechanism from a backend perspective is actually a creation. I know that sounds weird, but you have a stack of 10, that's one item with a stack of 10. You may bring it, it's a creation of 9. So that bit is not stable right now. We're trying to improve that that mechanism.
It's hard because there's a lot of the chat right now is debating Wicklow at the moment. And
why did I say his name?
Well, if I say it 3 times, he shows up on the screen. But a not insignificant part of the dislike for Wicklow is directly related to that freight elevator. It's just all
right. I want to keep listening to this. Get the creation from my understanding of programming. Oh yeah. But yeah, as much as I want to keep rocking with this, right now we're getting ready to raid. I feel like we're playing with Hunter today on Flagship Friday. And we're going to play some Star Rupture, which is very much like Factorio, or if Satisfactory had a tower defense. It's kind of dope. It's a fantastic game. We've had a lot of fun in it, and we're going to get ready to get in there because reasons. And have a good time. That's all. Always nice to see you live. I mean, appreciate you, because we're going to be back after Flagship Friday. So probably we typically play for 2 hours, and then right after those 2 hours, we're right back in here playing games. So yeah, we'll see you in about 2 hours. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. Appreciate you. In the meantime, I'll show you your lures, because I mean, if you follow, cheered, tipped, sub, resub, lurked, rated, gifted subs, you are the reason for the season and why I get to continue being a full-time entertainer. So thank you. If you haven't hit the follow button, follows are
free as fuck.
They're free. They cost you nothing. Hit that follow. We'd love to see you in a future broadcast. Typed the wrong name. What's going on, Deandre? Good to see you. Appreciate you stopping in. All right. Got the raid kicked off for Hunter. We'll be back in a couple hours, right back in here playing some more, probably Star Citizen. I don't know. Like, we got a couple things that we might want to touch that aren't the verse today. But we'll see. Appreciate you. Let's go show Hunter some love and then play some Star Rupture. Later.